My name is Mackenzie Allen, and this is my persuasive speech. Go back to sophomore or junior year of high school when you were first taking the ACT or SAT. Everyone around you is stressing about how important it is that you do well in this test. They are telling you that it can determine if you get into your dream college or not. Now is the day of the test, and you are full of nerves, just ready to get it done with. A few weeks later, and you get your scores back, and you notice you did significantly lower than your friends, but you don't understand why because you're a straight A student. Although we know our capabilities, this happens to too many young students, and it is detrimental to their academic confidence. As someone who has taken the ACT many times, I've experienced this on a first-hand account. Standardized tests poorly detect how successful someone will be in college due to their inaccuracy, test anxiety, and more colleges becoming test optional. The test's inaccurate representation of education is causing a fall in confidence and leaving students stressed out for their future. The test is an important representation, is an accurate representation of a person's intelligence and can't predict how well they will do in college. Standardized tests are simply made to present a school, not a single person. According to Chris Streetman with the website mckendry.edu, standardized tests are to make the school look good and decide how much funding they will receive. For instance, if a big enough group of students make almost perfect scores, then it boosts the school's reputation and the amount of money they receive from the government. This is also why some schools are rumored to have easier ACT tests. It makes sense because if a school is consistently having a low average of ACT scores, then they're obviously going to start giving out easier tests to boost their scores. They also do this to keep their reputation and their funding up. If standardized tests are truly made to represent a student's knowledge, then why make them an important asset to some colleges and scholarships? Another way tests like the ACT are inaccurate because they are proven to be biased. According to Sandra Sonneborn, an experienced college counselor with Verd magazine, research proves that there is a correlation between students' scores and their socioeconomic status. For example, a student who comes from a wealthier family is going to have a higher score because of their ability to pay for tutoring classes and practice books. If you compare a different student who comes from a less fortunate family, then they will most likely have a lower score due to not being able to afford all of the kinds of preparation. Shown in the graph on the left, standardized test scores are increasing as family income increases. The other graphs on the right also support the idea that standardized tests are biased towards different races and parents' education level. For many students, this test can be the only opportunity for them to be able to pay for college and causing an excessive amount of test anxiety. Students are constantly being told that this silly test determines their future and can ultimately get their college paid for. This can cause a great amount of test anxiety and can make students perform poorly. Students that suffer from test anxiety or anxiety in general have a disadvantage during the ACT. According to the website learningsciences.org, analysis show that anxiety affects cognitive processes, causing students to completely blank and have difficulty focusing during big tests. This proves that your ACT score does not represent your intelligence because someone with high test anxiety is most likely going to receive a lower score. The website heritageherald.com states that 16 to 20% of students struggle from test anxiety. That is 16 to 20% of students that receive low test scores due to their anxiety. Many argue that test anxiety can be canceled out if you just prepare for the test. While this is true, there is no true way to study. You can get as many ACT books and sign up for plenty of classes, but at the end of the day, you don't know exactly what will be on the test. You know the 4 subjects, but that's about it. Most students also don't have enough time to study for a long period of time or cannot afford all of the preparation. Because of the stress, Besides the stress, another reason the ACT should be discontinued is because colleges are becoming test optional. Although the ACT is deemed as a depiction of your future, it is becoming less relevant for college admissions. According to Jill Quinn with ISSUU.com, many colleges quit taking ACT scores after the COVID-19 pandemic and never went back. This trend shows that colleges are starting to recognize the inaccuracy of the ACT. The website InsideHigherEd.com states that around 80% of colleges in the U.S. are test optional. Majorities of colleges are becoming or staying test optional, proving that truly is not that important. Some colleges are even test flexible, which means that they don't allow students to submit their AP. They don't allow students to submit their ACT scores, their AP scores instead of the ACT. Hopefully, the amount of institutions becoming test optional will grow and cause the downfall of the ACT. Now we can reevaluate the true importance of the ACT and other standardized tests. Next time we find ourselves stressing over standardized tests like the ACT, we can think about if it is truly worth working ourselves over. If you see a friend or sibling stressing over a standardized test, let them know that their score does not define their intelligence, to go in calm and collected, and a lot of colleges are becoming test optional. Hopefully these complications will be taken into account, and soon high schools and more colleges will stop requiring standardized tests. Thank you.